So welcome, good morning, everyone. Once again, we are starting day 2 classes of SAP FICO. Let us understand the most important thing whenever we talk about SAP FICO course. A lot of you are joining for the first time, and there might be a few participants who might already gone through a training from various places earlier and trying to upskill yourself one more time. So whatever it may be the phase currently you are joining in, let me take you through a completely considering person who are attending for the first time. You don't know anything about SAP FICO, or you might be working in various sectors, or you might be a person who comes with completely zero experience into a corporate, right? It can be any sort of a person you are, but still you should be able to understand what kind of course it is, whether it is going to be suitable or not for you. And based on that, you can decide how you can plan for your career further. Okay. So without further delay, let us get started. The first thing, the most important thing for us to understand. So let's understand who can learn this course first of all, right? When I say who can learn, and most importantly, let's say that what are the pre-requirements for anybody to learn SAP FICO, which is the most important thing to learn, pre-requirements to learn SAP FICO. Okay. So most importantly, everybody will have a question. I come from so and so academic background. I come from so and so working experience. Is it a really a right choice for me to do it or not? Is the another question we always will have it. Okay. So whenever you have that question, so let us understand that in detail, whether it is going to be a real choice for you or not. So I want all of you to understand all these criteria in the first 1 week, including basics that we are going to start with, the pattern and everything. Only then when you convince, I would recommend you to take a decision later. It's not something that your friend is earning nicely or one of your uh, ex-colleague or one of your relative is earning nicely in SAP, FICO roles. Doesn't mean that you also need to be there. There might be a lot of other things which can suit your profile. First, we need to understand what suits your profile. I mean, what interests you most, and is this something that you can put effort or not, is the most important thing that you need to understand. Whenever we talk about a pre-requirements for SAP, the first thing comes into my mind is we always need to think about, let's say, what is my academic background, right? Academic background is something that you need to think about it, which will help you. Okay? If you are somebody who comes from any finance and accounting, whenever I say finance and accounting, it can be any sort of finance and accounting. Let's say like either you might be an MBA or you might be coming from, let's say, MCOM or BCom or let's say CA or CMA or any other accounting related professional certification. So if you have one of these qualifications, I mean accounting background, which will become very easy for you to understand the rest of the topics. I mean, rest of remaining the FICO concepts that we are going to discuss about. Okay. So most importantly, academic background plays very crucial role whenever somebody wanted to learn, particularly SAP FIC. Why I'm talking, whenever we talk about this thing, academic background related, why it is most important. Any business or anywhere that we are working in SAP world, we are going to help the business to use SAP as an ERP system for them to run on a day-to-day businesses. As such, we are not going to do any coding changes in a background. It doesn't require any programming language knowledge or technical knowledge of deep about any uh, computer languages or any other programs. You don't need to be an expert in the technical stuff. If you are expert in a finance and accounting process, that's more than enough. Or if you are somebody who comes with finance and accounting knowledge, like, yes, of course, BBM, like somebody is asking, yes, BBM is also one of that, where I can add that BBM. Okay. So any accounting subject, finance and accounting subject that involves depending on the universities that you are coming from, all you need to check if you have that subject knowledge that is going to be helpful. So that's the first thing that you need to check whether you have this or if you don't have this. And sir, I say I'm not from any of these backgrounds. I'm from a BTech, I'm from a MCA, or I'm from different background. Can I still do it? If you don't meet the first criteria, then second criteria at least should have been working or worked in work or working in any sort of FNA processes, finance and accounting processes. It can be anything, whether you might be dealing with a small organization or an MNC organization. If you are already working currently or worked earlier in any one of the finance and accounting processes where you touch based at least some portion about what is finance and accounting, or at least you dealt with the some journal entries or some sort of accounts payable process or accounts receivable process or any month-end processes or a GL accounting or reconciliation processes and so on. There might be many other processes in finance and accounting always we come across. If you worked in any of those processes, is going to help you now to understand these concepts in detail. Now, people might say that I'm not from any finance and accounting background, and I don't have
அது
any
ரன்னிங்ல இல்லடா.
experience. I don't have any experience in one of the finance processes. I haven't worked it. Then still can I think about it to join it? Yes, you still can think about to join it. Let's say if you have any exposure with any other ERPs, any other ERP system that you have already worked and wanted to switch now to SAP FICO. Still, it's a good choice where you can go. In case you never worked on any ERP system, then you need to think about the next criteria if that can meet. If you have worked on any ERP system, it can be Oracle or it can be Office Dynamics or it can be PeopleSoft or it can be, there are many other ERP systems which are there, which you feel that you already have exposure in them and you wanted to try that, like you are either Microsoft Dynamics or Workday or Sage X3 or IFS or Oracle Fusion, Odoo. There are many other ERP systems out of which everybody knows about it. What is SAP ERP system currently leading in the market? SAP is obviously leading, and majority of the Fortune 500 companies are using SAP as their primary ERP system. So, which means there is a huge potential in the market for a SAP consultants, particularly the next version of SAP, which is S4HANA. We'll talk about that in a bit. Now we are all talking about the pre-requirements for me to decide and join for this course or not. First, that you need to be clear. Only then we'll learn deep about the other stuff. What is there for me to learn? What are the other things that you need to understand? Whenever we talk about academic background, if a person who comes from this particular academic background, yes, it is going to be very much apt for them. Or a person who already worked in any finance and accounting process, person might come from different background than this, and they are already familiar with this processes. They already been working in this or worked at least in one of the processes, which is going to help them to easily understand the course now and can easily manage later if they put consistent effort. Don't simply say that you attend classes today and after that I'll get a job. I'm not assuring that simply by attending the classes you will get an offer letter. I don't say that at all. You need to put obviously your efforts until you become confident that you can manage, which I'll discuss in detail. What do you mean by manage? Then until you reach to that level, you need to practice it, which require at least 4 to 6 months of overall effort if you are a little slow learner. If you are a person who can put aggressive efforts, and I would say by end of the course, you are ready for the market. Somebody who can't have that aggressive efforts, consider how much efforts that you are putting, it can take a little extra time for you to get ready for the market. Okay. Now, like I discussed, academic background is something that you need to check. Otherwise, you need to check if you have worked in any F&A process, or do you have any previous exposure on ERP systems, or have you learned this at least earlier ERP systems? If so, whether you learned this or have worked, then that is going to help you to understand SAP FICO as well. More or less, it is going to be the same thing. Business processes never change from your ERP system to ERP system. Business processes are the core thing which happens in a business day-to-day life. Any ERP system, we are going to use exactly the same thing here as well. We need to convert all our business processes into a final uh, product for your business users or a key users to use it. For them, the most important thing is how to use a system, or what are the things that they require. As a consultant, we need to help them. They are not aware. All they will tell you about their business process. So what is business process? I'll talk about that in a bit now. So whenever we talk about SAP system, as a consultant, you should become a kind of a doctor. Whenever we say SAP consultant, it is equivalent to a doctor, right? A doctor, what exactly the doctor does? Can you become a doctor by going through some sort of online content, or without a proper guidance from an expert doctor, senior surgeon, or a senior doctor? If you don't take their support, still can you become a perfect doctor? Can anybody comment on that? Is it easy to become a doctor without proper practice, with
No,
under the guidance of seniors?
no. You have to do the practice.
Right? You can't become a perfect doctor. I would say perfect doctor, not just a title of a doctor ABC. When you become a doctor ABC, you don't know, right? People will look for what kind of expertise you comes with, and how can you solve a patient problem? How will you treat patients, and what is your success rate whenever we talk about surgeries or any other major things, right? Similarly, whenever you say consultant, you need to have that similar knowledge just like a doctor. Doesn't mean that you need to spend 4 years or 5 years like an MBBS, but you need to gain that a deep understanding about concepts, the business processes, or what exactly the business is working. The deep understanding is something very much important for us. If you don't know how a business process works, what are the things that you're supposed to learn, then it will become difficult for you to provide any solution to your client. Let's say your client comes to you and asks for a, hey, dear consultant, we have so and so scenario in our business. I wanted to use this functionality in SAP. You said SAP is one of the best tool in the world. Majority of the companies are already using it. What if I want to use this functionality, whether this option is possible or not? That you need to think about it, right? Whenever your customer asks for it, straight away, all the time, you can't say that, yes, it is possible. You should have that awareness, whether it is really possible or not, as a standard practice. If possible, you can tell them, yes, it is possible that I can do it. Or you can also tell that we have done that for our previous clients multiple times. So this is where your expertise also comes into picture, where people can trust you, people can depend on you to do something. Okay, that's what something that you need to be aware about it. So to become that level, you need somebody to hold your hand and guide you in each and every step. Whenever, let's say, just like a doctor, you are doing some surgery, all of a sudden you forgot something to do it. Now, can you go to YouTube and do research and come back and complete the surgery? Is that really possible? No, right? So for that, you need to have a proper knowledge how to handle that critical situations, not that you get ample time, certain scenarios. Similarly, what happens in SAP, but it is not so critical, but at least you get some time here, breathing space here. But in certain cases, you need to answer spontaneously. Let's say you are having a workshop with your clients or your business, right? Whenever you are talking to your business users, and they will ask you, I am trying to use a payment terms so and so dates. Whenever my customers are not paying on time, I wanted to charge them X percentage or X amount as a late payment charges. Is that possible to configure in a system. Whenever they ask this question, you should be able to understand. They might not be putting in a right way what you are expecting, but still with the clues and the keywords that they are using, you should be able to understand the scenario. What are they talking all about? Okay, they are talking about my customer related. It is part of my accounts receivable. Okay, they are talking payment terms related, something like that. Slowly, you need to start understand and connect the dot, and you will be able to provide by end of the conversation a solution also. That is the level that we need to build it. When you have that, or you can't say that, give me 5 minutes, I need to refer something, I'll come back later. If you say that all the time, that doesn't look good. So what I recommend is you need to make sure you gain that knowledge whenever you are in a conversations with your business users. Lot of times you go for a conversations with your business users. Many situations you need to conduct live meetings where you might face a face-to-face meetings, or it might be a virtual meeting, or all of you might meet in one of the meeting room also, right? Then you should be aware how to deal with your customer. Whenever I say customer here, it's your business user again. How do you deal with your business user whenever they are asking a critical questions, right? So critical question for you in case you are not aware. If you are already aware, that will become very easy. Now, my idea here is to make all the business processes for you to look like very easy. So that's what we are going to go deeper about each and every business process and every concept here as a consultant that we're supposed to know. For that, it takes little amount of time. All this expertise that you can't gain in 10 days or 20 days. People might expect that, can I learn this in 30 days? Can I learn this in 45 days? I'm hurried. If you are somebody who is in a hurry, I would recommend you to slow down, make sure you put sufficient effort and go in that phase. Allow yourself at least 3 months of time, unless you are already working as a consultant in any organization, in any other module, that is not applicable. This is applicable for the person whoever starting their journey for the first time into ERP systems or SAP FICOs. Then they need to think about minimum 3 months of time frame for you to allow. Otherwise, the concepts that we are going to cover, once we start, you will understand. So there are a lot of contents. Even after spending 3 months, can I become expert in FICO in everything? Not at all. That is not possible for anybody. Now, the people who is already working in the market with a 10 plus years or a 15 plus years or a 20 plus years when the SAP has started, they are not an expert in all the processes. Of course, I agree they are experts in certain areas, but not in everything. Okay. So with that, you don't need to be an expert in each and everything. You need to be an expert in a certain areas that is required for your business to manage. Similarly, you focus what are the areas that I wanted to learn. As and when we progress, I will also list down those areas. What are the most demanding areas? Without that, a consultant cannot start their journey. What are the areas that you need to have a deep understanding? What are the areas that you need at least a theoretical knowledge or some knowledge about those concepts, at least so that you can manage your consulting role. I will list down all those activities also in upcoming classes to clearly for you to give as a kind of a reference guide so that you can make that as a checklist and see how many topics or how many concepts that you are comfortable with, how many concepts that you are expert, how many concepts you are able to gain the knowledge, how many concepts still you don't know. That checklist you prepare yourself and make some sort of rating for yourself where you are standing about all those topics. Whenever you are little behind on any particular topic, feel free to connect with me where I can help you with the gaps wherever you have it. We will connect on one-on-one basis, and I will also assess where you are standing. When I can assess, only when you submit your assignments. As a part of our trainings, I'm going to provide you the assessments that is for the person who is going to take this as a serious and they wanted to practice and they wanted to become more comfortable and confident person. Only those people can prepare their assignment and submit it to me so that I'll inform in our classes. Those who submit, I'll certainly go through all of your assignments and provide you the feedback. Those who can't even submit your assignments, don't expect me to come back and give you a reminder again and again until you complete it. Please don't expect that. Expect me to give a right feedback on where you are standing based on your practice and the assignments that you are submitting it. Only then it will help you to gauge and see where you are standing, what is your gaps, how should you plan for filling those gaps. If you don't take that step for your career, nobody else can, right? So now, if anybody wanted to start, you should have been in any one of these criteria. If you meet any one of these criteria, which is going to help you. The last criteria which I'm going to provide you is a kind of alternative options. If you don't come with this is a first option, I would say. And the second option, can I still do it? These are the second option categories, what you can think about it. Let's say if you are a person who is already working in other sectors, it can be any other sector, either you are working in IT or a non-IT, it can be anything. Somebody might be working with auditors as an accountant, or somebody working as a teacher, or somebody might be working as a professor, somebody working as a freelancer, somebody might be working in any other technologies, right? Still, I wanted to switch to a SAP FICO now. And for this, again, you need to think about these criteria, whether you have any of these earlier before working into this IT or a non-IT. Do I have any of this academic background or not? Look into them. If you have it, that is going to be an added advantage. If not, then what you need to make sure, if no above criteria meets, then you need to make sure you put extra effort in understanding finance and accounting processes. If you don't want to put, or if you don't want to enhance your F&A processes knowledge, or you are not able to do that, then this course may not be for you. You might be working in any other sector, either IT or a non-IT, and you don't have any finance and accounting background. You never worked in any F&A processes. You don't have any other ERP exposure earlier. Now you are thinking about it. Now, still, I won't directly say that just to jump on, but make sure you evaluate yourself. Can I put extra efforts and learn F&A processes? Only then it is going to be a successful journey for you. Otherwise, it's a simply waste of time and money. I would say don't even think about it if you can't put that effort. It's not about me making money through this. I can do that in any other ways, but that won't be a successful way for you. Always keep this in mind. If somebody who is coming from a different backgrounds, you need to be in a position to put efforts to understand F&A processes. What is your vendor means? What is your customer means? What is a bank reconciliation means? What is fixed asset meaning? Okay, what is depreciation? There are a lot many terminologies which comes in finance and accounts. All those terminologies, at least you should be able to grasp it, because you are going to connect with your business users very frequently. When I say very frequently, you deal with them majority of your life. When you don't know what they are talking, you can't solve their problems. You don't even understand what they are expecting from you. If you don't know what they are expecting from you, how can you expect a final right output from us, right? So nobody can expect that. For that reason, we need to have good understanding about business processes first, build your business processes. On top of that, the SAP skill will become very easy. SAP FICO is not at all tough. It is a very easy thing to learn, provided that you meet one of these criteria. Okay. And the last category, I would say, let's say you are a person who is already studying in any one of these finance and accounting courses. You are currently studying and you still wanted to do it. Let's say, I would say freshers here. Whenever I say you are at a final semesters or a final year of your course, still you can start now. But all you require is you need more efforts to understand how in a corporate it works, There is a little different things you need to enhance yourself, which needs some time for you. Once you complete your college days, you complete your course during the college days, and later you spend some time initial days to understand how other consultants are working in this. You need to have that network of people to understand this. Whenever I say freshers again, don't assume that you completed in 2020 and you never worked on anywhere and you are thinking yourself as a fresher. You are not considered as a fresher in that case. You will be considered as a fresher if you are still studying in 2025 or you just completed your course in 2024 max. Either you should have completed in 25 or 24. That's a maximum in our standards in the industry is considered as you are a fresher. If you are somebody who already completed your academics quite some time back, like 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years and beyond, you are no longer a fresher. You might be thinking I'm a fresher for SAP, but still market will not look you as SAP fresher. So they will still expect majority of the roles we need experienced candidates. If anybody here has attended interviews or working in any sort of ERP systems or SAP roles, you can share your experience. How many interviews or how many positions that you have seen in a job portals or in advertisements, we are inviting a pure freshers, those who never worked in anything, we have openings. How many of such openings you guys might have seen? Very few, right? So you can't expect a more openings purely for a freshers. Our goal also here is to become little beyond the fresher. Once you complete the course, nobody will say that you are a fresher. You looks like a person who is already been working in a project at least for last 4 to 5 years. That's a level that you can gain a knowledge by end of this course. Now, if you meet any of these criteria, then you can think about it. So where you can join for this courses. Okay. So then most important thing for us to understand. So what will be the approach? Okay. I understand now who can start. Maybe you feel convinced that, okay, one of the criteria I made, can I give a try? Yes, you decided for some reason you wanted to start your SAP FICO journey. Now, what should be your approach? Now you need to have, like I was discussing yesterday, your approach should be, you need to know where am I learning? Should I go with completely a self-learning phase? For you to become an expert, self-learning is not at all sufficient. Unless you already been working as a consultant, you know that what are the challenges you face and how will you solve all those challenges. Without proper guidance, without a expert person guiding you through those challenges, you will not be able to make out the right solution. Problem looks very small when you are aware about it, what exactly the problem is. Otherwise, as a first time, you will come across this during your initial days of practice as well, where I'll show you various scenarios or various issues and challenges while practicing it. The same scenarios you will receive in the form of tickets from your business users. While you are trying to solve that problem initially, you don't know much about subject so far. You feel it is a very difficult thing. You don't know how to approach. It's a very, very difficult, and you are not able to understand what exactly that means, right? So then what happens whenever I teach about it, whenever I show you the technique, whenever we talk about it, how to solve it, then you will feel that, wow, this is so simple. Then I know this, right? This is the feeling that you get it. Okay. So you are going to experience that. Only you realize that it is easy only after understanding what exactly you need to solve. Okay. And if you don't have that knowledge, always you feel that it is a very much difficult. You don't even realize or you can't even solve the problem, or you will struck unnecessarily stating that you don't know how to do that. Okay. So for that reason, what I will always say that make sure you practice enough. You take the guidance from an expert person who can help you to understand how to read a problem and how to solve that problem. Otherwise, it will always will remain as a question mark in your mind, how to solve that, right? So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss all the topics in detail until you become a confident person. Okay. So now let's say that you started a course with one of the expert guidance. It can be me or it can be someone else, right? Depending on where you enroll. So I'm not recommending you to go with me. There might be many other people as well out there in the market. Make sure you find the right choice so that you can get the right knowledge that is required for you to manage your roles once you join. Okay. Now, let's say that now you understood that you found your right trainer and you need to spend a good amount of time for you to understand the concepts and go through all the practice and make sure you cover all the assignments given by the trainers. And then only then you become comfortable with all the concepts that you are practicing it. Once again, just give me somebody has to go on mute. Please, somebody who joined quickly go on mute. That will help. Whenever you are referring to this recording, it will help. Otherwise, there will be a background noise for everyone. Okay. Once you join in any place, so make sure you found the right trainer and you spend good amount of time and practice enough. Once you practice enough, then you will understand where you are standing, right? And you will also get a feedback from the trainers and ask their feedback where you are standing, what are your gaps. Then you will be able to understand what exactly you're supposed to do and what exactly you need to prepare for the rest of your journey, right? Once you're done with that, then you can prepare your resumes, start attending interviews, and then you can continue your journey. So here, whoever is joining here, right, with us, we are going to provide our complete support until you become a consultant. Okay, you decide your journey. We will be there with you until you become a consultant. Right from day one, providing all the conceptual knowledge about the subject, including all the business processes. You practice along with your trainer and clarify all your doubts. And you will also get a chance to attend a mock interviews. Somebody who is preparing for the first time, you need some support, then you'll let your trainer know that you need some help with a mock interview preparation. Your trainer will take a mock interviews and you will attend a mock interviews and clarify all your doubts during those mock interview sessions also. They will take as if like a real interview that you are facing. Questions also will be similar to that level. You get all those interview questions and you try to answer them. Then your trainer will take all the feedback and they will take your evaluation and share the feedback, which areas you are good at, which areas you still need a focus for you to improve. Okay. Once you're done with that, our recommendation is always like you should not depend on anybody for any sort of support. Once you're done with that, you don't require anybody's support to crack an interview like a Proxys, or you don't need to depend on for a backdoor jobs, or you don't need to look for somebody who can support you during your project journey. Once you join in a project, I have seen a lot of requests from people, sir, I need a support. I'm not able to manage my project. I'm ready to pay for it. So can you provide a support? So let's don't get into that level of more. Even before you join to the project, my responsibility is to make you more comfortable. Without that support, you will be able to continue. With a minimal support, if you go to any online content or your senior or somebody just tells you a small sentence or a word, you should be able to pick up. That is the level you need. Not at the cost of, let's say, I don't know how to use XYZ transaction code. I don't know how to run a program. I don't know how to schedule a job. I don't know how to write FST. All these are very basic things. So those are working as a consultant, they understand what I'm talking. So people are struggling still. Majority of the people are struggling to manage their roles because they don't have a deep understanding of the business concepts. Configuration is a very easy. Anybody can complete just like that in a few minutes. In less than 1 or 2 hours, you can easily configure end-to-end company code and you can also post journal entries. If I provide 3 days of time, you can completely configure your company code organization structure FIMM integration, FISD integration, your fixed asset accounting, all this you will be able to complete very easily without any doubt. Okay. And but the real challenge comes whenever you wanted to perform certain changes in a system, whenever you wanted to perform certain new configurations or customizations, people will not be able to do that. Okay. So I want you all to become that level of confidence whenever you wanted to handle anything in a project, or whenever you wanted to handle how to fix certain problems or how to do any customizations. There is a lot of customization requirement in any project that you see. So which is not easy for you to do those customization or fulfill that requirement without understanding how to do it. Okay. So in our training, we are going to help you with all those things for you to make more confident and comfortable. So now I just need all of your participation, those who attended today and those who still wanted to attend the remaining classes. We'll spend few more minutes for today before we wrap up. So I just wanted to have your confirmation, those who attended. Please submit your name, mobile number, and email ID so that we will send you the remaining communication along with all the materials that we are using in the class, including the class notes that we are using. Everything will be directly sent to your inboxes. For that, I want all of you to share your contact information so that we will send you one-on-one communication whenever we wanted to send it. So I would recommend you to use the link in the chat session so that you can submit your participation about the classes that you are currently attending, or somebody who is attending from second device, you can scan this QR code and submit your responses quickly as we are talking. So as I'm talking, please submit your responses. I'll continue to talk about the remaining class. Okay. You might see a chart session, today's class confirmation. Just go there and submit your details so that we can communicate the remaining class communication or class notes or any other official communication from our email IDs and contact numbers. This is the official number that you see where we will be communicating all the course related and any payment related communication you would expect from us from these numbers. Okay. All right. Whenever we are talking about this and we are talking about so far, let's say that we are talking about particularly who can learn how to start my journey. Now, most importantly, you need to understand once you've done to it that, I mean, you found the right trainer. Now you understood the pattern, what to start with. And now let's say we are starting our journey and are starting our course. When you start our course, what are the things that you need to keep in mind, or how should you understand the overall system? Now let us get straight away learn about SAP FICO. So even before I ask you for enrollment, I'm not asking you directly to pay money today and enroll for this. You completely are free to join this entire week classes to understand the overall the patterns of the classes and how we are going to share the knowledge. And based on by end of this week, you can take a decision whether this is something for you or not. Only when you convinced and feel that yes, this is something for me, I wanted to proceed, then you reach us on the same number, or if you let us know in one of the sessions so that our team will reach you on the communication through the communication, the numbers and the email IDs that you are submitting now. So that we will use that purely for a communication, not for anything else. Okay. So now we will start as such. There is nothing kind of a separate demo sessions. Whatever we are starting from that day one is going to be a project training. So we will take a live project scenarios and will straight away train you on a project where you will become comfortable and you can build your confidence. It's not something that we teach theoretical thing first and we'll ask you to enroll here or elsewhere for a project. There are majority of the trainings in the market happens that way. People will teach only the theoretical knowledge. Somebody wanted to gain that deep exposure about how it happens in a project. They need to enroll again for a project training. There is nothing called a project training separately or course separately. We do everything together from the day one. You will understand how it happens in real projects. Okay, that's the beauty of this program where you will expect everything at affordable price. We don't charge anything extra for anything later. For any of your mock interviews, for any other support, we don't charge anything. Apart from your SAP S4HANA server, rest everything we cover in the same course fee. Only the server cost will be extra depending on from which vendor we are going with. Okay, that we can talk about later once we start our configuration activities. Maybe first couple of weeks, you don't even need to worry about the server at this moment. Later, you can plan for your server as well. Now, let us understand whenever you talk about, hope everybody done with it, submitting your details. Anybody still wanted to submit? You guys can take a screenshot and later submit in case somebody is not able to submit at this moment, or you can copy that link and save later you can submit the details. Okay, now let me jump on with our class notes or the class topic that we are discussing. Now, whenever we talk about the first thing always, now today we are learning about SAP FICO. Whenever I talk about SAP FICO, let us understand a little more about what is SAP FICO first of all, and why should companies opt for SAP FICO, right? Whenever we say SAP FICO, this is one of the ERP system. What is ERP? Enterprise Resource Plan. Like I mentioned yesterday's class, every organization will have a lot of resources for them to manage, right? Whenever you have this resources, what are the resources that we are talking about? So 3M, your men, machinery, and money. These are the core resources in any organization, you can say. For us to manage all these resources manually, it is very difficult for anybody to manage it. We need to understand, let's say you might be spending a lot of money to purchase your raw materials. Now you are purchasing a raw materials. Whenever somebody wanted to purchase raw materials for your manufacturing processes, you need to have some other party out other side. What is that other party that we call it generally whenever you are purchasing something from other person? What do we call that other person here? Can I say other person only, or is there any other technical term that I can use? You guys can share in a chat, or you can unmute and say
Vendor.
vendor, we call a vendor. Any other names for a vendors? There are multiple names. So why I'm talking multiple names here? Your business user may not use always the same term. In this project, your business users might be saying vendor. In other project, they might call with a different name. You should be able to understand what they are talking without any confusion. What are the other names that we talk about?
Third
Vendor.
party.
Okay, third party. Third party may not be the right, but still okay. Let's go with that. Okay.
Business partner.
Business partner. Let me call that as a baby in short.
And seller.
Seller, very good. And can I also say supplier? Seller,
Yes, supplier.
Yeah.
There are many terms like this. So why I'm saying, if you go back to the first point that I already said, if you are somebody who comes from accounting and a finance background, you might have already come across these terms in your academics. Or if you are somebody who already worked in various business processes, any F&A process, you already come across this, right? That's the main reason I was talking about. You should have this knowledge. It's not just that I'm quoting here. It has a lot of connection with what we are going to do. If you're already there in this one of the criteria, you already have this basic knowledge, basic understanding. Whenever I talk next, you will be easily able to understand and proceed with the further understanding of it. Otherwise, you stuck there. What am I talking about? If I say, let's say, creditor here or debtor, if I say debtor here, how easy it is for you to understand. If you are from a completely a different background, you never worked in F&A processes, you never have any exposure to any other ERP systems, doesn't looks like a completely a new term for you now, right? It might be for some of you at this moment, but by end of this course, you should be able to become comfortable with all these kind of terms which are used by your business users. We will introduce all these terms in our classes. We'll learn about them, what they exactly. But don't expect I'll go very deep about it. That will become your finance and account course again, which takes another 6 months or 1 year. We can't do that, but I'll certainly give you a clues and knowledge how you can develop that. Okay. Initial days, we will spend good amount of time to understand these basics. Only then we'll get into basics of SAP, how you configure the system. Before you configure the system, we need to understand what exactly we need to do. What exactly we are going to configure. For that, what information you need to understand. When I say data or your customer or a business user might call, one of my data, when I'm trying to do this transaction, you should be able to understand or connect the dot what they are talking. You should not have any confusion. Do you mean data means a vendor? If you ask that, so that doesn't sounds like a good conversation with your business users, right? So that is where I want you all to become comfortable whenever we are working with this. Okay. So now, whenever you are purchasing some material, there are some party, other side of the party that we call it as a vendor. Most probably, we third party meaning can be anything, but vendor and you say supplier or a BP, which is a business partner. And S4 HANA is the version where we talk more about business partner concept. In ECC, you may not hear this term, but in S4 HANA, you will hear a lot in business partner concept. That we will touch base on that as well. We'll go very deep about this business partner concept in S4 HANA particularly, as it was not there in ECC. And seller, supplier, debtor, and we will also see how it is going to impact in your financial statements. Now I understand SAP is one of the ERP system. Companies will have a lot of resources. Like let's say whenever I'm dealing here, it also involves money. I need to pay some money. Whenever I purchase something from a vendor, obviously I purchase some materials. It can be, when I say material, it can be raw materials, or I can also purchase some services, right? I might need some service, but in physical form, I will not have by end of the day. You ask one of your vendor to provide, let's say, customer care support for all your employees, or for all your employees, you are expecting them to provide yoga session. You need to pay to that vendor. That's one of the service given by vendor. Now, for that, you need to pay money, where at the end of the day, you don't have any physical form of the goods that is with you. Still, you spend money. That is what your services, right? For the services, either it can be services or material, or it can be also assets, where you can purchase some assets for your business purpose, right? You purchase some assets for your business purpose to make sure you can run your business more. You can purchase anything. Whenever you have vendor, you will deal with them either purchasing some raw materials or services or some assets. Now, whenever you deal with this, you need to make a payment in the form of cash or any other form. Maybe you either you pay through check, bank, or whatever. Ultimately, vendor would expect monetary benefit. Without monetary benefit, they may not will be able to provide you services. But depending on their contract and service, what they are providing. But high level for us to understand in a standard practice, vendors would expect monetary benefit. Now, if you look into this, we are purchasing materials. It can be an asset also. Then it is going to become your machinery in a 3M that we are doing. Okay. And payments, whenever we talk about it, is a money. Or let's say your employees who are providing their regular responsibilities or working in your organization, they are also working for your company and they are going to help you with all the day-to-day activities. You are liable to pay some cash to them in the form of salary. Your employees also will become a kind of vendors for you. They are also internal vendors. Your internal vendor, your employees internal vendor. For them also you need to make money. So this is your math. So these are the 3M that we are talking about in ERP system. In any organization, if you have any one of this or all of them, then the ERP system, the companies will think about it to implement it. I have these many things to manage. it is difficult for me to remember everything what I'm doing, right? So I don't know when I purchased my asset. If this asset lifetime is only 2 years, if I want to replace this after 2 years, then likewise I have thousands of assets overall. Or let me take another simple example for you to understand. All of you are familiar with the supermarkets. We go to supermarkets to purchase some grocery items. Whenever you go there, whenever you check MRP, obviously we'll check what is MRP and what is the offer price. Apart from that, what is the other thing that you always observe on any packets or any food items or anything that you take it? Is there any other item that you always observe?
Expiry date.
Expiry date. Why is that so important for us? Let's say a supermarket contains few lakhs of products. If you take a big supermarket, they will have a few lakhs of products in a whole. Now, is it easy for them to manage in manually? Can they remember, the staff can remember all the products expiry date? Is it easy?
No.
Not at all, right? It's highly impossible for anybody to remember expiry date when particular product is going to expire. Now, that is where ERP systems plays a crucial role. You enter all this data into your ERP system and you just run a report. How many products are expiring in this week or today? You just say that report date and system will throw you including your product label, and you also call it as rack number. If you go to any supermarket stores, either Star Market, Star Bazaar, or earlier there was a Big Bazaars, right? Similar to that, Big Bazaars or a Reliance Fresh or whatever your nearby local supermarkets, they will have each and every bay and each and every rack with a labels and a numbering. If you go next time, observe that carefully. You will find some numbers with their codes that may not be familiar to you for the first time. Maybe second time onwards, if you go observe in the racks, you will find a different number coding. They will give their own number code. If you go and ask the staff, they will check their devices either in their app or right, and they will be easily able to spot the product stock also, whether that particular stock is available or not in their store. If it is not available, they can also tell you it is available in our next store, which is there in a 2 kilometers away. If you go to any other medical stores like Apollo and others, you go and ask them, they would say that, sorry, sir, we don't have this stock. We can expect only by evening or tomorrow. In case you need it urgently, it is available in one of our nearest store. They can check and confirm. This is possible through ERP systems. Now you wanted to manage all these kind of things. Now you have a lot many employees who joined on a different dates. Now you wanted to calculate some appraisal hikes. How do you calculate this? It is not easy for you to calculate appraisal hike for each and every employee manual. You might provide certain parameters, system will do all this in backend and will do the communication. Now let's go back a little deep about your business plans. Now we are talking all about internally. Now let's say that you are purchasing from your vendors. There are not many vendors that you have. Every time you purchase something from your vendor, you wanted to send a communication to your vendor. We received goods. You receive that invoice along with the goods. Whenever you are sending a payment to your vendor, this is a general practice in any business. You make a payment to your vendor because you've been purchasing from your vendor every day, multiple lots. This vendor will supply you multiple lots almost every day. And also likewise, you don't pay instantly, right? Whenever you purchase in a business, you take on a credit. I think how many of you are aware about that on a credit terms that we purchase? We always purchase for a business use in credit, right? We don't purchase on a cash majority of the times unless it is a one-time vendor. Okay. So what we do, we always try to purchase on a credit because we wanted to enjoy that credit period as well. Where businesses are offering credit period for you to pay after 20 days or 30 days or 40 days, right? Depending on what kind of contract you have with them. So companies do provide that flexibility for you to pay later. That is called your credit period. Whenever you are enjoying that credit period, it is our responsibility equally to make sure we remember that when I purchased, when is that due again? If I don't pay on time, this vendor may not give me the services next time properly. For that, you need to make sure you will be able to pay them on time. If you don't pay on time this time, what happens? Next time, you will have a negative impact. They might say that, sorry, I can't provide you this time 40 days because last 3 months, I don't see you regularly you are paying. With that, I can't manage my bill because it is not a small amount that you are purchasing. Think about MNCs, right? MNCs, they won't purchase in 1,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees if you talk in Indian rupees. If you talk about MNCs, anything that they deal with in a millions and billions, whenever somebody is purchasing in a millions, which is like a few lakhs and crores, you purchased for last 3 months in 100 crores and you are paying 1 month delay, they always calculate a finance cost as well on that, right? If you pay 1 month delay on 100 crores, how much interest? On the other side, for your vendor also, if they wanted to run their business, to rotate their business activities, there is 100 crores cash has been struck elsewhere. Now they need to borrow that money from a bank or someone else. Now, if they borrow now, they need to pay 1 month of interest. Until you pay, they can't repay that. Now they also need this money on a interest basis or whatever. The cost, whatever they are paying as an interest, minimum, that is the late payment charges they will implement that. They will ask you to pay minimum that charges plus extra. They don't just satisfy with that. Why that unnecessarily I have to pay this much, right? They will ask you to do that. Even after giving you 30 days, 40 days period, you are not paying me on time. So now you pay me so much of late payment charges. Have you guys seen on your credit cards or EMIs that you guys also see that message? Yeah, as you paid late on your credit card payment, your bank is charging a late payment charge plus GST and all other various charges. Anybody come across this or heard about it?
Yeah.
Right? Banks are charging a late payment charges. Why they are charging late payment? Though you are so loyal customer, you've been purchasing, you are spending a lot, but still they are charging. It is all because it costs them other side for them to rotate the persons, right? So they can't manage without having the money or a funds. For that, what they will check is they will also need money to run the business. So as a customer, whenever you purchase from a vendor, you need to make sure you pay on time. If not, they would ask you to pay the charges. Now, this is the situation where you also will face with your customers. Now, you need to remember two things. One, what you purchase from your vendor. Second thing, what you sold to your customer. You are going to deal with your customers, whoever is purchased from you, and you are going to deal with from the person who you also purchased. Now you will become a customer to other companies without any confusion. Now let's keep these terms aside for a while. So whenever you purchase something and whatever you sell something to your customers, right? You have both the activities now, purchase and sales. Now, any business that you consider huge businesses, is it just like, let's say that you make a sales only one day and close the business, or is it a continuous process in anywhere? Is sales a continuous process or a one-time effort in any?
Continuous process.
It's a continuous process. You will have a lot of customers do visit your business every day. And purchasing also similarly is a continuous process. Whenever we have a continuous process, obviously you need to have a better processes to manage it. In that case, the businesses will look for a better tools because it's a regular process. There is a lot many transactions happening every day from various vendors. I have various different contracts with different vendors. Okay. So whenever I talk about various business processes, whenever I have a business processes, whenever I am dealing with multiple transactions, I have a lot of transactions I'm dealing with. I can't remember each and every transaction. One vendor, I might had a negotiation 10% discount. Other vendor, I might have a 20% discount. Other vendor, I might have 2 months of credit period where I have a very good rapport with them. How do you remember all this? It is highly difficult for your accountant also to manage manually. For us to accommodate this requirement or your business to fulfill this requirement, they will take advantage of this ERP systems where you configure all this in your SAP system You configure your vendor numbers, which means vendor master data you create it in the system, and you also set a payment terms to the vendor. In their master record, we will update this. Then you no need to worry anything. System will automatically can give you various reports. You just need to run various report, whatever you are looking for. Your accountant will simply run a report every day. They will run report. What are the invoices that are due for today that I wanted to make payment? Whatever I purchased, how much that I supposed to pay the remaining balance to my vendor as on today. That report system will tell you automatically. And also it will also give you automatic reports from your customer reports as well. Similarly, from all the places we run reports for your business to run a reports. As a consultant, we are going to help them configure all this in backend. You need to configure as per their requirement. Now they will tell you, I have 20,000 vendors. I have 1 lakh customers. For all these vendors, this is what I have payment terms. For all my customers, this group of customers, this is my payment term. For another set of customers, this is my payment term. So your business will explain you all this. Whenever your business is explaining, now let's get into a little bit of our journey in as a SAP FICO consultant. When will they explain? How do they explain? Do they send an email? Do they send you through the chart, Teams chart? Or do they calls you to the meeting room and explain? Let's understand that, right? Now we understand SAP is an ERP system. Under that, SAP FICO is what we are now learning it. Whenever we talk about SAP FICO, which is one of the functional modules that we are learning it. As a part of functional modules, your FICO is one of your functional modules. There are multiple functional modules which we will touch base later. Whenever I talk about particularly FICO now, we understood the very basic things, the 3M, and let's understand a little breakup of FICO. Whenever I talk about FICO, it is FI plus C. It is not just one module. Whenever I talk FI particularly, which is used for your external financial reporting. What is external financial reportings? Anybody have some idea about it? What are the external financial reportings that we call? Anybody heard about balance sheet?
It can be client data.
Let's keep that client data. It will become a very high level, but let us break down to understand what exactly the reports that we do. Whenever we talk about external financial reporting, the word itself will tell you it is for external purposes, where everybody can see this, where everybody can access it. Let's take any example of an organization and you wanted to know about that particular organization. What are the few things that you will look for it to understand that company's details? First
Company's financial reports.
Financial reports, very good. What are those financial reports again? Okay, now
Their assets, liabilities.
Okay,
liabilities.
Balance sheet is the one thing which will talk about their company's assets and liabilities both. Okay, now what else? Apart from balance sheet, what else? Balance sheet will tell you the position of a company, how many assets they have, how many liabilities they have. And there is another most important factor we always look for. If somebody who is doing a share market or somebody who is investing in equity or a mutual fund, any of that sort, will always look for this.
Private and loss.
P&L account, which is the most important. So profit and loss account will tell you how good that business is doing, how much profits they are making, are they incurring losses or they incurring profits. Now they will also look in historical data. Last 5 years, how are they performing? Last 10 years, how are they performing? Based on that, your investors will take a decision. Who are the external people, investors here? So apart from this, there are some more like cash flow statements. These are your external financial statements where external people like who are the external people like a banks who has given a money to you in the form of loan, and investors. Apart from the banks, there will be individual investors or international foreign investors or FDIs. There are many people who has invested in your organization. They would be more interested to know about your organization, how well you are doing it. Okay. The next thing, the next set of people is like government. particularly your tax authorities. They would be interested to see how are you doing. You might be reporting this year we incurred losses. If you incur losses, which means you no need to pay taxes because you are already in a losses. You have no income at all. You pay taxes only on income. What is income for a company? It's a profit. If there is no profit, there is no tax, right? For them, how you are reporting, is it all the reporting that you are doing correctly or not? Government authorities, which is particularly tax authorities, also will look for it. This is a common in any country, not only in India. Across the globe, this is a common thing. Every country would expect a tax from a company, of course, from individual as well. Now, these are the interested people to know how well the business is doing, and also your employees. Employees also look for this information. How well my company is performing it. I know some of you might be not so keen to attend AGMs, annual general meetings, which are conducted by your organizations, where quarterly review happens, where your CEO, CFO will come to that presentation, will explain about this is what we have done in last 1 year, this is our growth, this is the future growth plan that we have planned it. Everything they will explain there. So that will tell you the projections for next year for you to decide how it is going to be. You will have certain idea where employees also will look for this. There are employees who look for this financial statements and decide whether can I join this company or not. You believe me, there are people, right? So that will tell if company is really making profits, I can expect some hike. If company is already running into losses, what profit you can expect, what hike you can expect. Irrespective of your effort, it is not going to be worth, right? So now, at least these are the people who would be looking for your company financial statements, external reportings. This is possible from your FI module, which is a finance module. Any company that they wanted to prepare their external financial statements, particularly your balance sheet, profit and loss account, and cash flow statements. All this is a part of your external financial reporting requirement. It is not just one, either balance sheet or profit and loss account. No, it is everything. We need to prepare everything for us to submit for external reporting. And also there is another authority, which is, let's say, your stock exchanges. In India, we have, what is the stock exchange name in India? Who is the stock exchange controls? It's a SEBI who controls everything.
Yeah.
You have NSE and BSE stock markets, but all those are controlled by SEBI. In every country, you have your local stock exchange boards. They will also be interested to know how good you are doing it. You have to submit your reports to this SEBI as well every period, every month. Any changes happening in organization, you have to inform SEBI without miss. For all the companies to prepare these financial statements, it is not easy to prepare manual. There is a lot of transactions, a lot of reconciliations that you need to perform. So for you to make it accurate reports in short period of time, you need a proper system. That is where your FI module is going to be helpful. I'm talking about only FI at this moment and not even touch based on CBO. At this moment, it is only FI. And whenever I talk about CBO, let's go with a CBO now to understand. I understand so far FI is all about external financial reporting requirement. Whenever I talk about CBO, which is your controlling module. This controlling module we use for internal reportings. What is internal reporting? Let's say your organization is running since last 20 years, or you just starting your business from 2025. This year you just begin your business. Now, nobody would just like that do a business. They will always keep an eye on the cost, what you are spending it. Now you wanted to know, let's say this month you are able to make a profit of, let's say 1 lakh rupees. Okay, you made a 1 lakh profit. Now next year, your management will have a goal to increase this profit or to improve on this profit or not. Next year, they will have a certain different targets. This year, I made X amount of profit. Next year, I wanted to have 1 lakh plus 10%. Or I wanted to double my profit next year. There will be a some goal. or nobody would be interested to focus on this? Whoever do the business, will they focus on a profit or don't focus on profits? Obviously, companies will focus on profits, right? How much profit I am making, always you will check for it. Now, for you to understand the profit, how do you calculate this profit? First thing, what is the main component that we calculate profit? Let's say total expenses that you incurred for the year. You should be aware about it. What is the expenses that you spend? And on top of that, you should also know what is your total income. You got it? Only then you will say income minus expenses equals to your profit. This is a simple formula to understand. We'll go deep later, but at a high level for anybody to understand, is this what the formula that we use to know the profit? Now let's say that income that you got 25 lakhs and minus all the expenses that you spent around 21 lakhs, including your materials that you purchased, all the services that you avoid, the rent that you pay to the building, electricity, telephone bills, salaries to the employees, local small expenses that you spend, right? Including everything that you spend 21 lakhs. Now the remaining amount you call it as 4 lakhs. This is going to be your profit. So now business will always look for, let's say, I spent 25 lakhs this time, I made 4 lakhs profit. Okay, good. Now next time I will spend 50 lakhs and I will spend here also 40, let's say 45 lakhs. Now what would be my profit here? Is it a 5 lakhs? Now business would always compare these two and say, where am I doing good job? Who is doing good job? Is it a 5 lakhs or a 4 lakhs? Which profit is better, 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs? Not sure how to judge on this. So certainly this is bad job. This is good job. How many of you agree this is a good job? Sorry, this is a good job. My bad. This is a bad job. How many of you agree this is a good job? Though it is a only 4 lakhs profit, it is a good job.
Yes, it's a good job.
This is a good job, right? Let me clarify those who are not yet convinced why this is a good job. When I say 4 lakhs here, what is the percentage of the profit that I got? 4 lakhs divided by what is the total income? 25 lakhs. On a 25 lakhs that you spend, sorry, on the 25 lakhs of income, or I would say only 21 lakhs is your total expenses. You spent only 21 lakhs, on that you got 4 lakhs. Now, what is the percentage of that? That is what you will calculate and see how much percentage that I am able to get it, right? If you say this, it is going to be around 19% or approximately, let me take this as a round figure, 20% is the profit that you are able to make. Now, if I calculate similarly here I spent 45 lakhs of money and I got only 5 lakhs of a profit. If you do this, similarly to this, 5 divided by 45, it will fetch you only 11%, 11.111. If I make this as a round up, make it as a 12% still. Who is giving good returns? Let's say this, I'll call it as department 1, or let's say year 1 otherwise. Year 1, sorry. Now this I would say year 2. Which year I'm making good profits?
Year 1.
Year 1 I was able to make 20% profit. Year 2 it has reduced to 12% only. This is a part of a small thing for you to understand on simple example. Your business would be more interested to see how am I doing? How is my business? Where should I focus more? That's the major things will be checked by your businesses. Internal management, internal reporting is all about calculating how good we are doing internally. You focus on your budget and you also focus on actual costing, and you will calculate the variances and you will see many other things. We do lot many other things which is related to internal reportings. Whenever you wanted to do this internally, you don't publish this anywhere outside. Nobody would publish this outside. I made maybe year on year profit you can see, but this is an example I took. But the similar example I just convert into, let's say, the product wise. Nobody will tell you which product. Let's say product 1 and this is a product 2. Businesses will not publish this product level information or a segment wise or a city wise. In our store number 1, we made so much of profit, and store number 2, we were able to make so much of profit. That is purely internal reporting. They don't publish it. Okay. Now business wanted to calculate this kind of numbers and they wanted to control certain cost. How do you do that? Right? This is all possible in our control room. So with the interest of time, I think let me take a pause here. If somebody has any questions, do let me know so that we will continue tomorrow our class at the same time with the same link. We'll continue. Those who already submitted your details, in case you don't have the links, we'll make sure we will send you the link for a tomorrow class as well. And this class notes and everything we will send you to your WhatsApp number and also to the email line. Okay. So now let me pause here and ask you guys if you have any particular questions. We will continue the remaining in tomorrow's session.
Okay.
Yeah, those has any questions, you can raise your hands so that we'll go in that sequence.
Narasimhan, can I leave now?
Yeah, sure, please. If you don't have any question, you can leave and you can be too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now, I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Anybody wanted to clarify something so far, whatever we discussed? Okay, I'm referring to the chart as well. In the meantime, people has any question, you can feel free to ask. Yes, Susankar, absolutely agree with you. The demand wise, I would say demand wise, yes, there is a lot of demand. So in upcoming projects also, we need more consultants, which is a shortage at this moment, particularly for S/4HANA consultants. If somebody who comes with ECC knowledge as well, ECC plus S/4HANA, it is going to be an added advantage. Okay. Certainly, as you already have a MM experience, I would highly recommend you to do this, where you can easily understand the concepts, where you might have already worked with FICO consultants closely. You know the business flow, how it happens, but it will become easy for you to understand, where having a multiple module knowledge is going to increase your profile weightage, no doubt in that. That's another advantage you can expect.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, any other questions that I can help you guys?